Hello guys and welcome back to the F1 Tube YouTube channel. Now, seeing as F1 has its curtain raiser in Melbourne, Australia this weekend, I thought it would be an appropriate time to rank the 2020 liveries. Now, before we get into the countdown, this list will not contain any test liveries, so the Alfa Romeo test livery or the Renault livery they used at pre-season testing, although they were stunning looking cars. So if you like me ranking the 2020 race liveries. But let's waste no more time, and in last place I have Racing Point. This is not a bad livery, I wouldn't think that for 1 second, but compared to the other liveries on the grid, I think Racing Points lack that little bit of excitement. I wasn't sure when they removed the Sport Pacer section of the livery for this season. I wasn't totally for it or against it, but as time has moved on, I kind of wish that the Sport Pacer section remained on the livery. However, it's the way it is, it's sponsorship, it's business, that's part of Formula 1. But yeah, I don't think they were that adventurous with their design. I like the pink, the white and the blue, however, to me at least, it seems to lack that little something. Now, 10th was relatively easy for me to put my rankings. However, from 9th to 1st, it is fiendishly difficult, and even when I started editing this video, I did not have a clue. Even from pre-season testing, my opinion has changed on these liveries. However, in 9th, I have Haas, and it seems unfair on the livery putting it in 9th place because it does look really good. Firstly, I am glad they have reverted back to their traditional colours. I know they did change a bit in 2016 and 2017, but this is very much the Haas we know and love, I guess. I am sure there are people who despise them, but back to the livery, they haven't overused the colours. The black just seems to be very well integrated onto the car, as well as the red and white. The worst thing is this car could have been 5 places higher just based off of this picture alone. From the front end of the car, it looks stunning. However, once you get to the side, it doesn't look as good. It doesn't look bad at all, but it doesn't look as good, and that's why I've put them 9th. Next up in 8th, I have Team Colgate. No, sorry, I have Williams. Branded as a toothpaste livery, this Williams car is definitely an improvement aesthetically wise on its 2019 Challenger. I love how the blue, the red and the white just sit on the car and seem so relaxed. They don't seem to collide. I'm glad also that Williams have integrated the sponsorship colours onto the car very well. The rocket red is something you see with Venturi in Formula E, and although red doesn't necessarily dominate this livery, it still sits on the car very well. In 7th, I have a half-hearted ranking. I have Renault. Now, I was never going to put this car top 3 or last because this is the only photo or only action I've seen of this livery, because of course Renault used a black test livery during pre-season testing, so although I could have just left it out the list, I felt like I'm going to put it around middle. I know 7th isn't middle, but I'm going to put it 7th because I do like this livery, but I haven't seen enough of it to judge it around other cars, so don't take this ranking too seriously, I guess, but then again, I'm so hard to understand, so yeah. In 6th, and just missing out on the top half, I have Red Bull. Their livery has been stagnant over the last couple of years, and I'm glad to see that because ever since it was introduced in 2016, the matte Red Bull livery, it has always satisfied me and it always looks good. The yellow, the red, the blue, purple, I'm honestly atrocious with colours, guys, but it just looks really, really good. It's not the best livery on the grid. It has died down a little bit over the past couple of years, but I am still a fan of it. In fifth, I have the reigning world champions Mercedes. Now, when this livery was launched inside whatever the building was, the livery did not look great, but out on track it definitely looked a lot better, especially the red on the Mercedes livery coming from Team Ineos, who are a cycling team, I believe. But yeah, out in the sun, the red or the cherry red or whatever it is, red looks a lot better. I'm also glad they maintained the silver arrow stars on the rear of the chassis / livery. It does look really, really good. Plus the turquoise / blue stripe, you know, almost streaming through the livery, it does look good as well. And although this livery isn't as good as the 2019 one, Mercedes have come out with a very nice design. Missing out on my imaginary rostrum, I have Ferrari. Now, when this car was launched, I never thought it would come fourth. I didn't think it was that great, mainly because it had stagnated from the 2019 livery. But out in the sun, I have realised how gorgeous that scarlet red Ferrari truly looks. I still wish that Ferrari had introduced more white to this livery, because I personally believe white and red is a better colour combination than black and red, but that's my personal opinion. And this livery, or the 2019 Ferrari livery, definitely grew on me last year, so I'm going to put it fourth. It was never going to finish third or higher, but it is still a very, very nice looking livery. In fact, it does look divine. In third, I have Alfa Romeo, and this is another team who I did not think would be this high on my countdown. It wasn't until I started creating this video that I really saw how beautiful this livery really looks. When the Alfa Romeo livery dropped last year, I wasn't the biggest fan of it. However, it did grow on me drastically throughout the year, and now they've applied more cherry red onto the livery, and it is startling, and in a good way. Furthermore, I am a fan of how the sponsors are integrated into the Alfa Romeo identity. They are primarily red, which is what I like to see, because if there's too many colours on this car, it begins to look a bit all over the place. But yeah, guys, in third I have Alfa Romeo. In second I have another Alfa, that being Alfa Tauri or Tauri. No, I do not believe this livery is better than the Toro Rosso livery of 2017 to 2019. That livery was beyond stunning. However, this livery is not a bad runner-up on this list. It looks stunning as well. No, it's definitely not the most adventurous design on the grid, and some would argue it's pretty basic, and I don't disagree with that. However, does it need to be all over the place? Does it need to be out there? Some of the greatest looking liveries are not the most adventurous. Use the 2009 Brawn GP car as an example. That was basic with a capital B. However, it looked absolutely magnificent. The main colours on this livery, white, black and dark blue, they all seem to go together absolutely perfectly, and not that you can see on this photo at least, but the Honda logo on the car, it's red, but it doesn't take away from the livery. Everything seems to align with this livery, and AlphaTauri or Tauri or whatever your pronunciation is, you have absolutely smashed it. Plus, whatever it is on the rear of the car, probably a ball surrounded by massive letters, it also looks superb. So then, that leaves McLaren in the number one spot. I believe that the MCL 35 is the best looking car on the 2020 Formula 1 grid. In contrast to what many people believe, I do think McLaren have made a step up in terms of looks from their 2019 Challenger. I absolutely adore the orange matte finish. I love how the blue is just all around the car, not just on the rear. just behind the airbox, on the side pods. I could go on and on about this livery. I love how they've applied more blue onto the livery. It makes it look so much better. The way in which the electric blue mixes in with the black towards the rear of the car also looks exquisite. I am sure you guys disagree with me, so let me down in the comments section below what are your rankings in terms of the 2020 race liveries. But of course, don't have a go at me, because this is obviously my opinion and you guys are entitled to yours. That then is it for the countdown, but before I end this video, I just want to have a little word about this weekend's Australian Grand Prix. Firstly, I cannot wait for it. I have been looking forward to this specific week for 3 months. We have been in hibernation, but Formula 1 is well and truly coming back. For this weekend, the YouTube channel formats will be that there will be a qualifying and race review, but no weekend preview. As from now up until Friday, I have such a compact schedule, so I will be finding no time, or I cannot find any time to post any new videos, and I do not believe there will be a topic video this time next week, because again, I will not have the time. But that, guys, was just to keep you posted. So then, that is it for today's video, guys. Please like this video, comment down below what your rankings would be in terms of the 2020 race liveries for this upcoming Formula 1 season. And if you haven't already, guys, please subscribe to the F1 Tube YouTube channel for more content regarding the world of Formula 1. But I think it's now time to say, guys, bring on the Australian Grand Prix.